All right, hello, and welcome to Long Time No See the podcast, coming to you from Gold Diggers Recording Studios in Los Angeles, California. We'll be getting to know some of your favorite comedians a little bit better, and so will they. Each week's guests have no idea who the other guests will be, so without further ado, please remove your blindfolds and introduce yourselves. Nice. Your guys' mics are right by your sides here. Sorry, on the seats, on the chair.
Maybe.
On the seat, yeah. You can wear them, yeah.
Now we're really podcasting.
Aaron.
Yeah, man.
Good to be with you, sir.
Good to be with you too, man.
Yeah, so you guys can introduce yourselves for the audience, too.
Here you go first.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Aaron. You can call me AB if you're nasty. Yeah, I'm a comedian.
That's beautiful. My name is Danny Dunn. You can call me Danny Dunn.
Okay.
Don't be nasty.
Okay.
And I'm also a comedian.
Perfect, nice.
There you go.
You guys have never met before?
No.
Nice. Complete strangers. Okay, well, I'll get us started with a couple questions then. What was your most recent bomb, and how did it compare to your worst bomb?
Dude.
You got a good recent bomb?
I'm really trying to go through my brain right now. I fucking kill every night. No, I definitely have bombed quite a few times. I'm trying, but there was one recently that I think that was really bad. You can go first if you have one.
You said most recent and most memorable?
Most recent and worst ever.
I had a recent one that was more just the opening joke. You know when you riff something up top that just either crushes or
Just sets the tone.
silence. I did one where I went up first and the host was opening the show, and so many people were coming in and out of the show because people were still getting settled at the beginning. So 12 people were coming in and out, noticeably.
Oh man.
And so I go first. I'm like, so many people coming in and out. What is this, the Cheers pilot? I thought it was so funny. And you've never heard a louder silence in your life.
Jesus.
People were like, we're all leaving. We hate this. I was like, that was so funny. Come on.
Jesus.
Silence.
Nothing.
I can't really think of a recent bomb. And again, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I just can't think of one.
Sure. You got a most memorable one?
I did one recently. I was at the Laugh Factory. I think it had to be a year ago.
Okay.
I hate hosting.
Okay.
It's probably one of my least favorite things.
Why do you hate it?
I just don't like it because I feel like I have to be like Nick Cannon. I'm like, all right, everybody make some noise. And then
Yeah.
clap. And then it's just different from the regular activity. There's some people who kill and do a great job at hosting. I just, it's not my thing, but I was hosting and I was like, let me do a little crowd work. And I remember I was talking to a few of the audience members, not that many people there too. The stakes were super low. And I think this woman was like, I'm a single mom or something like that.
Okay.
And then I accused her of being a bad mother.
Yeah, okay.
And just no one laughed. I was like,
What?
why
They
did
didn't
I?
laugh- they didn't laugh at that?
I was like, she's a
What?
bad mom, everybody. I was like, why did I say that? I was
Yeah.
just trying to be funny. It did not turn out well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, man.
Because usually bashing single mothers, such
Yeah.
an easy
Such-
comedy
such
touch.
a
You
win.
freaking kill, dude.
Such a universal
it was
comedy
bad
enemy.
taste. I was just trying to be funny. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I guess.
That's tough. I'm trying to think if I have a really memorable one. I'm sure you've done when you're, especially earlier on, bar shows
Yeah.
where the people at the bar don't know there's a comedy show happening.
Absolutely, man.
And that, you feel insane when that happens.
Well, yeah, and also it makes you feel very insecure as well.
Yeah, you feel crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I had one where I was hosting the late show on a show, and the early show was packed. They didn't sell a single ticket for the late show. So I show up, and he's like, hey, we didn't sell any tickets for the late show, so I'm just going to roll the early show into the late show.
They like to roll.
They hate, so he's the host of the early show. He goes up, and he's like, thanks so much for coming to the show. Everyone's actively ordering Ubers.
Yeah.
And he's like, now we're going to start the early show. Danny Dunn, come on up. And so I'm hosting as a show is exiting.
Oh, that's horrible.
So people are looking at me as they're leaving,
that's
and I'm
horrible.
are we ready to start? I felt like a crazy person.
Oh, that's horrible. Did anyone end up staying?
The only people that stayed were the people who had to wait were like last in the Uber queue. So they were like standing like by the door, like, oh, okay,
I see you,
dating, dating's weird. Okay, cool. Men and women do be different. Okay, we're gonna take off. We're gonna take off now.
We did one during the World Series. I used to live in Chicago,
Okay.
so I did comedy there for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And so we did one during the World Series. It was like the Cubs, and I don't even remember who they were like against. If anyone here is really into baseball, last time.
Cubs versus who did you guys beat?
I don't remember. Damn, we need to do better, guys. As men, we all need to know.
Can we play a clip
yeah.
of the Cubs?
Anyways, it is literally just straight up just silence.
Okay.
Everyone in the bar is there watching the game, and we are
Oh.
actively doing stand-up
okay.
while the game is happening. I do not recommend that. It's actually me and Denny Love. Shout out to Denny.
Do you do a podcast with Denny Love?
We have a show on YouTube.
Okay, I've seen clips of that.
Makes sense.
That's why
there
you
we
look
go.
familiar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, me and Denny and the rest of our collective in Chicago at the time
Okay.
were performing in this bar. It's the World Series, and no one wanted to pay attention.
Yeah, that sounds like an insane. Who was producing the show?
We did.
Okay.
We booked
I
it.
was gonna say that sounds like a producer oversight.
Yeah. We didn't really fully think about it, but the bar was like, yeah, this will be great. Got the
Yeah.
game on, have a little comedy. No one cared about the comedy.
Yeah.
Also, I think no one thought the Cubs would go to the World Series. So I think that it made sense at the time.
To book the
book it.
show.
At least the owner of that bar.
How long ago did you guys plan this show?
I mean, this had to be like, what, 2016?
no,
Yeah,
I mean that
2016.
you planned the show before you knew the Cubs would be in the World Series.
Probably like a couple of months in advance.
Okay.
I mean,
Man,
they were
that
probably
is-
playing. I think they were playing well, but at the
Yeah.
same time, clearly the bar owner didn't have faith in the team.
Yeah, of course.
And I also think that it was, now that I'm thinking about it too, it was the South Side. So probably that bar owner was a
White Sox fan.
white. I said Black Sox fan. White Sox fan.
You guys beat the Cleveland Indians too, but
Oh, wow.
obviously you were busy, so you didn't.
I had no idea how that worked
didn't
out.
know, yeah.
You were too busy riffing.
Riffing
There you
these
go.
jokes.
Riffing these jokes about single moms.
Shout out to the Cubs.
If you guys were headlining a comedy tour with historical figures, who would be on your lineup, and where would you put them?
With historical
figures, yeah. They can
Like-
be comedians or no. And
that
they can
are also performing on the show.
Yeah.
Like who would be your historical
Yeah.
figure openers?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like a Danny and Friends or an Aaron and Friends. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Past or
Wow.
present?
Yeah, for present, or I mean past and also present, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so both.
They can still be alive, but most people choose dead people.
That says a lot about comedians'
Historical
brains.
figure.
Do you have yours?
No. There's about 1 million people to think about.
I'd start the show off with a prayer by T.D. Jakes.
There
Who's
you
TD
go.
Jakes?
He's like a mega church pastor.
Okay.
He comes in, he just sets the vibes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Afterwards, do you remember the Six Flags old man that came in?
Oh, wait, that's great.
Dad starts playing. Grimace comes out.
Yeah.
Everyone was
Okay.
like, whoa, what is this show? Boom, Obama.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you're following all these people.
Yeah.
I'm following everything.
How much
kind
time
of a
is everyone
variety
doing?
show
Yeah.
at this point.
After that, Dave Chappelle comes out.
He does about an hour and a
He
half.
does about an hour and a
Then
half.
I thank everyone for coming.
Then I come out and I take it home.
Yeah. And then how long do you
I
do?
bomb. Bomb the worst I ever have in my life.
I come out, do kind of a Bo Burnham inside thing, but it's all clips of the Chicago Cubs World Series victory
Yeah.
while I'm talking.
All ballad.
That's a perfect lineup. The Six Flags band is a great poll.
That's a great one, yeah. How much time does he get?
I mean, he's just there.
Oh,
Like,
he's just there throughout. Nice.
yeah, just there. Kind of like the Sandman with like from the Apollo. He just kind of comes out every now and then.
Okay.
Six Flags guy.
Yeah. Or you could put him in like a big bird cage and kind of hang him above the stage.
Well, that's
Like a stripper?
that might
could
be
be
a human
cool.
rights issue.
It could be. I haven't read the Geneva Convention in a
He's
while.
pretty old.
Wait, that's really good. Can you guys edit it out where I think about my historical figures?
Yeah, take your time.
Actually, I'm just going to start going. I'll just see what comes
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Top of mind. Top of mind. First person I thought of, Jesus. Doesn't seem like I went on the show.
There you go.
That was the first person I thought of. I'm stuck on Joel Osteen because you said mega church
So
pastor.
you're trying to compete with my show, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of ripping you off. What about if I do like Joel Osteen, the guy from the Six Flags commercials would be cool. Michelle Obama. That'd be cool. She does like 100 push-ups. Okay.
She's ripped, man.
That she gets the audience involved. They
She's
do 100
ripped.
push-ups. Kind of we do a presidential fitness challenge.
Get healthy.
Pass out some blue ribbons, make everyone feel good.
I love it.
Then Dave Chappelle comes out. He doesn't say a word though. My Dave Chappelle doesn't. He doesn't say a word.
He's just there for the vibes.
No. But I have a Rodney Dangerfield impersonator backstage, God Mike,
Whoa.
doing Dave Chappelle jokes, and he has to do the mouth.
Actually, that was really creative.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. So I'm like an
You
artist.
get no respect,
I work
huh?
in the arts.
No respect, yeah.
No
I get
respect.
no
And then you
respect.
go up.
And then I go up, and I just let's say this Chicago theater, okay?
Yeah.
And I just
course.
put like a nice lacquer finish on the floor.
Ooh.
I kind of stain the wood of the stage, and everyone watches. It's kind of a Yoko Ono performance piece.
That's kind of
Because I'm screaming the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice, man.
Yeah, I do it with. I come out wearing a ton of clothes,
Yeah.
and instead of rags, I take off an article of clothing to stain the floor as I go. So I'm slowly.
Is there like a metaphor
Undressing.
with this, or if this is
I
just?
think it's open to interpretation.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Would you say the metaphor is in that?
I don't know. I think it's we gotta.
Also, I just gave a show that would have the most confusing Eventbrite description
Yeah.
of what you're buying tickets
Jesus
for.
followed by Joel Osteen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus is hard to follow, but Joel's,
I think the metaphor.
that's true.
that's his thing.
I think the metaphor is the work never stops,
Oh, that's kind of sad.
and I think each time you have to work, you have to give a part of yourself.
Art is sacrificial to the audience.
Exactly.
Wait, let me ask you that.
and to the floor.
Let me ask you that. Do you feel like you're able to sustain your own life and happiness and joy while you create and work to build a career and make art and comedy and stuff?
That's a really good question, man. I think the quick answer
You
to
can put that one on your list.
Yeah, I think the
Writing
quick
it down.
answer.
That really wordy question.
quick answer is absolutely not. It's very very
Nice.
difficult, and I'm trying to find the balance, and I don't know if that's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a balance.
But I love it though. At the same time,
Right.
I could not see myself doing absolutely anything else. How about you?
No, I'm with you. But it does. I feel like you are trying to find the balance of like giving yourself to this thing while also
Yeah.
like sustaining yourself.
Yeah,
And I don't know if there is it lives in balance, but
Yeah.
it might swing in balance of like, okay, you're doing a lot, and then you need to dial back a little bit.
and just being
Then
aware
you
of
need
that.
to do more. And it doesn't have to be huge swings. I think
Yeah.
my swings would be really big.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to make them smaller, where I can make smaller adjustments of
Yeah.
like, okay, you're starting to feel burnout instead of like, you're going to jump off a bridge, burnout,
It makes
and you need to swing back.
it makes sense, man.
Yeah,
And it's just trying to find like sometimes things just kind of just keep going and going and going, and I love it.
sure.
I've been like that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
If I'm not busy, I start to feel depressed. And I have just, I've talked to my therapist about it. I've talked to, but it's just kind of has been that way since I've been a child.
Mhm.
So I don't really know where that comes from, but I just really enjoy being busy. And if I'm not, I start to get really anxious.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need more.
It's too much time with yourself. You start to hear your own thoughts.
I actually love spending time with myself
Me too. I
That's
like
the,
it, yeah.
I like. Were you an only child?
No, middle child.
That's probably why.
Shout out to my middle children.
Bam. Bam,
You an
bam,
only
bam.
child?
I was until I found out that I had a sister when I was 18,
Whoa.
and so now I'm
Full
no-
sister, half sister?
half sister.
Okay.
with my dad.
Do you do you know her now?
Yeah, we're really close.
Oh, really?
Super close.
She's cool.
Yeah. She's actually cooler than me. She's like really.
Let's
and
get
I'm,
her on the
Yeah,
podcast.
should we
Dude,
get
I'm
her in here?
pretty-
Yeah.
I sit down with your half sister instead, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I really don't know who you are.
Well,
This is so embarrassing.
It's so wild because like my entire family, she's a part of it now. But my entire family, like they're now used to this whole comedy thing.
Yeah.
But really, she's only been in my life now for like 10 years.
Is she older or younger?
She's older. She's 4. She just turned 40. I just went to her
And
like
how old are you?
I'm 29.
'Kay.
So it's weird. She came up to L.A. I think it actually might have been one of your shows. But I think you've actually have met my sister
Oh,
in like
nice.
passing.
Yeah.
But I like take her to the improv, and she's like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then I sit her upstairs while I'm about to go up to perform in like the main room. And then just Craig Robinson just sits next to her.
Okay.
And she's just like, what is going on? Because she's just not in any
Yeah,
of this.
yeah.
If that would have happened to like one of my cousins or even my mom, they've already kind of experienced that already.
Sure.
But her, I think she was just like, this is like
That had to be
wild.
pretty cool for her to be like, oh, my little
Yeah.
brother's like really in the mix and
Really
doing cool
cool.
things.
I think that
and
was one of the
this is
coolest
exciting.
things. Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. What does she
Uh,
do for work?
She works for like a nonprofit.
So she's a good person.
She's a great person.
She's like a wonderful person and
It's
nice.
like smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
That's
do your
great.
siblings do?
My older brother, he lives in South Korea.
Whoa.
Shout out South Korea. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to do that?
Huge following
Shout
there.
out to South Korea. Smash like and subscribe. If you live in Seoul,
You got some.
안녕 하세요. He lives in South Korea. He's a day trader.
Wow.
I know, isn't that wild?
For U.S. trades or for?
I
don't
think
they
for the
have a
U.S. market.
Okay, gotcha. That's dope.
I don't even know.
I don't even know how that works.
If you told me to like start day trade, I wouldn't even know what to open on my computer.
It's weird.
You know what I mean? Like I would open probably like Paint and just be like, I don't.
I remember the first time I saw someone day trading.
Oh really?
I felt like someone that was just seeing Facebook for the first time.
Like just the code. You're
Yeah,
like,
and I was like, "What is this?" And they were like, "Day trading."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh,
He's a real like math and science guy. I was like, how'd you do this? And he's like, oh, I just like wrote an algorithm and back tested it for 10 years and then extrapolated it forward. And I'm like,
damn."
that sounds great.
So he's like, he really is integrated into society.
Uh,
Is it integrating?
no, I would say that's the
I
opposite.
don't actually. Yeah, the moment I said it, I was like, I actually don't know.
He's integrated into Korean culture though.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Is he married? Does he have
He
kids?
just got married.
Congratulations.
He
That's
just got
awesome,
married.
man. Were you at the wedding?
Shout out to marriage. No, I will be this summer. He did like a courthouse wedding. He's a very low key guy. So he did a very small courthouse wedding,
Oh,
and then
sweet.
they're doing a very small wedding in Indiana this summer. So I'm gonna
Okay.
be at that.
That's awesome, man.
And then my younger sister lives in Chicago.
Wow.
Your
So
homeland.
You're from Indiana?
I'm from Indiana,
What part of Indiana?
Carmel, Indiana.
Shout out to Carmel, man.
Shouts out to it.
Shouts
Carmel,
out,
baby.
shouts out, baby. Wait, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that.
What'd you do?
I did that.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Shouldn't throw up C's probably on any video platform.
No.
We'll
yeah,
blur it.
yeah. Would you blur that out for me?
Yeah. You guys ready for another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You didn't
not
like
using...
here in my hometown.
My sister lives
You
in
didn't like
Chicago.
just giving me updates on my
Anymore,
siblings
yeah.
in general.
Can I just ask, what does your sister do in Chicago?
She works in sales for Grubhub.
Is she a comedian?
No.
Oh, okay. A lot of
She's
comedians.
funny, though.
There's a lot of comedians that work at Grubhub.
Oh, really?
That was like the go-to spot in Chicago that comedians worked at.
Oh, for like a nice, like
I think
remote
I think
sales job.
one got in. It wasn't always remote. They had a cool office at first.
Oh, one got in and just
One got in and there was
pulled
like,
all
hey,
of
you
his-
come in, and then that became the go-to job that like I would say like 10 comedians at one point just all worked at. But they were like, I don't know, it was weird.
Their manager probably hated that.
Or it was lit.
Or it was awesome. Yeah. Okay, what do you got?
Not using a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive are you?
Whoa.
What? Okay, Aaron, you got to go first.
I did a video recently,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna use what this girl said in the comments. She said I'm the sexiest 6 that she's ever seen.
That is...
That's 1 through 10.
Yeah.
He said
Six.
without saying 1 through 10. Aaron, you look so stupid right now.
Can we talk that over?
Can we
with?
blur all that out?
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
We'll start from
we'll,
the top.
we'll cut that for you.
Blur
We'll
his
edit that.
identity out.
Yeah.
The entire time now I'm just like, repeat the question one more time.
Without using a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive are you?
A soundbite. Only using a soundboard soundbite. How attractive are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Here, I'll say it this way. I don't kill on Tinder.
Okay.
I kill in person though.
Personality guy.
Yeah.
But you're a handsome guy.
You're a handsome guy too.
Hey, thanks, man. Do you
Yeah.
feel like a handsome guy?
I don't
Are we
think I-
ruining your question?
No, this is perfect.
I'm starting to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah,
Watch out.
yeah,
I might
yeah,
start,
yeah,
I might
yeah.
start walking around.
I don't really care.
Okay.
That sounds
I
weird.
don't believe that. You don't care at all.
Not real. I think when I was younger, I did.
Guy who doesn't let himself feel his own emotions and has to be busy all the time doesn't care. Maybe you're too busy to care.
I'm not-
Maybe you're not letting yourself care.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. Come here, man.
I don't know.
What is your perception of your own attractiveness?
I think.
And Wes, you have to answer too.
Okay.
I mean, I think I'm pretty good looking.
There we
Yeah, I think
go.
I'm pretty good looking.
There we go.
But at the same time, like I don't care. Like I don't. You know what I mean?
So it's more you're just happy with how you look. You're
No.
not like I look good or I look bad. I just like how I look.
Listen, man. The world is burning. We need to fix the ozone layer.
Don't deflect. Don't
So,
deflect into
Why are we
geopolitical
cared
conflict.
about how I look? You know what I mean?
Because we're on a podcast where that's the problem. Look at you just
How about you,
run
man?
around.
How about
Yeah.
you, man?
I like how I look. I don't know what it is perceived by other people.
Yeah.
But when I look in the mirror at this point in my life, I'm like, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds so embarrassing. No, I'm like, I like how I look,
Well, I like it.
but I genuinely don't know Truly, and I don't know how it's perceived by other people all the time, because I had such bad acne growing up, like
You can't- I
such.
mean, your
I
skin
think
is,
I still have acne.
no, your
scars
skin
again.
is clear as fuck though.
But it was like really, really, like it was so bad. And then I would get made fun of for having red hair a lot in middle school for a brief time, a brief but intense period. Gingers Have No Souls episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Tough time.
That
tough
ruined
time.
Tough time.
Yeah.
So I think at that formative time, I developed a perception of myself of like, you got to be a personality guy. You got to learn. You got to learn how to be funny. You got to
And
be
bro,
a personality guy.
You
Nice.
killed that shit.
Hey.
Man.
We're all doing our best.
Here we are.
So now I've made peace with my appearance. But when people are like, "You look good" or "You look bad," it doesn't. I'm like, I don't know. So there you go.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
That was a very good answer. That was a good answer.
That was embarrassing. I feel like I'm being too vulnerable.
no,
on a
that was
comedy
really good.
podcast.
I actually really enjoyed that answer. Thank you for sharing that.
Hey, thank you. Can you keep the audio but blur my mouth?
Yeah, sure, you got it.
Okay.
If you guys met your 13-year-old self, but you can only tell them 3 words, what would you say?
Ooh.
Wait, you didn't answer your attractiveness one.
Well, I've never been put on the spot like this. I guess I'm attractive enough to run without my shirt on, but no one else wants to see it.
I don't know if that's true.
Wes,
That's-
you're a very good-looking
Yeah,
man.
you're a handsome guy.
One time I was running with my shirt off, just trying to get a tan here in LA, and a guy literally went and put his hands in
No.
front of his face. Yeah, he like put his hand
that-
over his
No
eyes.
way.
Yeah, I swear to God.
How bad did that hurt you?
I just
That's
started
like the-
laughing. I
that's
mean,
like
I
the
was like,
meanest
"That's
thing I've ever
hilarious!"
heard.
Like, I don't know.
Well, he has to do a joke.
I just started laughing. I didn't know what other reaction to have. I mean,
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Just
Like
throws up.
You're like have like a very normal body. I don't even know,
I know.
why.
Yeah, that's
That would be
right.
like-
It's sort of mid. I don't.
Oh
yeah.
my
That guy's
God.
a bigot, man.
And that guy, maybe it was were you running through an Impractical Jokers episode?
I mean, yeah,
Because that
maybe. Yeah, that might have been
could
it.
explain
yeah.
it.
He didn't look like one of the 4, but
that would explain a lot of people's. A bunch of people probably have really confusing stories that they tell people, and people are probably like,
What are you talking
and
about?
it was probably they were in an Impractical Jokers episode.
Man, I will.
You're welcome
yeah,
for giving you closure.
that's making a lot more sense. Yeah,
You're welcome.
I'll be able to sleep tonight. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys could talk to your 13-year-old self, 3 words, what would they be?
What would you say?
I really like my 13-year-old self.
Really?
Yeah, maybe keep it up. Keep it up.
That's dope.
Nice.
Keep it up.
That's great. Yeah.
I think I was into close-up magic at the time
Me too.
and learning how to ride a unicycle. So there was a lot going on.
Wait. Let's just take it back for a second.
I learned how to ride a unicycle.
And then you're doing close-up magic?
Yeah. It was a bit of a
Old school clown vibes?
not old school clown vibes, more Chris Angel, sleight of hand vibes. Shout out Chris Angel.
Were you really big into Mind Freak?
Yeah. At the time,
Do you remember the last episode?
no. The season finale,
The series.
the
finale.
program finale.
The series finale.
What happened?
He tried to convince everyone watching that they could float.
Okay.
So you like stood up, you like closed your eyes, and then he like hypnotized you. And
Yeah.
then everyone was supposed to feel like they were floating.
Did it happen?
No, I did not feel anything. The
Oh,
biggest.
Wait, you were there?
No, it was all you were at home. He like did it over the screen. Just like closed your eyes, and then it was supposed to make you feel like you were floating. He was like, picture a balloon.
We'll insert the clip there.
Yeah. It's
What clip?
definitely on
Of
YouTube.
a balloon or Chris
No, it's
Angel?
definitely on YouTube. It's insane.
That's like.
I was really big into Mind Freak.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, a fellow mind freak.
And really into magic too. I was doing like close up magic too.
Were you? Did you ever get pretty good at it?
No, I know one trick still to this day. But then I got yours was
If you know one magic trick in your adult life, it will come in handy.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's good. And I can juggle really well now.
Oh,
because of that
cool.
same time period.
Can you juggle right now?
Yeah, do we have anything?
You guys probably don't want that to
Oh,
happen.
sorry. We just
Oh,
lost
wait.
our juggling.
Oh no, we just
tools.
donated all of our.
I can
juggling
juggle
balls.
vapes if you have one.
I was just about to ask, do you guys have any useless talents?
Juggle.
Apparently, magic comes in handy. So
Do you have ADHD?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like that provides a ton of useless talents where you get really fixated on something for a short
1,000
period of
or 20.
time.
I got really big into cup stacking.
Oh, that's
You know what I'm
crazy.
talking about?
Yeah.
It was like
Can you do it pretty well? Are you fast?
I was
You got fast
so
hands?
fast. I actually was just
I
talking
was
with
so fast. I was such a fast cup.
I got really good
You
at
guys
it,
have
and I
no
was like,
idea.
oh.
Right.
I wanted to compete, but it just never came down to it.
Yeah.
But my mom got me the full timer and everything.
That's really nice of her.
Do you have any more?
Unicycle's up there for sure.
Do you still unicycle to this day?
No, I don't. I'm not an active rider. I wouldn't say I'm active in the community.
Hung
But
up your
I-
wheel.
You're riding
I
fire
hung up the
today.
wheel. Okay, there we go.
You're riding fire today.
I hung up the wheel. No, I still can ride it. It's like
Okay.
riding a unicycle. And so I can still ride it, but I don't own one. But that one's up there, magic. I can juggle a little bit. Probably not
Nice.
as good as you. Never cup stacked.
Dude, cup stacking was the best. Do you guys remember cup stacking? Do you remember cup
Yeah,
stacking?
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Dude, it was the best.
I never got the set. I never got to try.
Dude, it was the
That's sad.
I know. I might go buy some afterwards.
We're gonna get you one.
Yeah.
We're gonna
yeah.
let you relive your
I wonder if they
childhood.
even still make them. I don't even know. That's
What's
crazy.
one more weird talent? There's got to be a good one.
I got really into Pokemon. It's not a talent though. I was just talking about that yesterday. I have to think about it because I just gave you my top. It's stand up, but we're both stand ups. So that's not impressive anymore.
That's been
Unless-
useful. That guy. That's your.
Well, he's
that's
like,
your
it's
career.
useless.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's
it's
very-
useless.
I can't think of
That's
one
weird. It
way
keeps
to
you
use
alive.
that.
Very useful. I don't know.
Someone just gave me a tattoo gun. That's my current ADHD fixation is learning how to give tattoos.
Are you
So
serious?
he gave me so this guy gave me a tattoo gun. Actually, you might know him, Wes. His name's Wes
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a tattoo gun.
Are
He
those
gave you his
considered-
tattoo gun?
He gave me a tattoo gun.
Scugs? Yeah.
Yeah. And he showed me how to use it. He's gonna let me give him a tattoo.
Are those like flash tattoos? Is that what they would be considered?
Flash tattoos are like just pre-established tattoos. So it's not like the way they're given, it's like what the design is.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's like a sheet that the artist will make.
And then you just have a tattoo gun.
Yeah, he gave me one.
How many people have you tattooed?
Zero. But he's like he literally just showed me how to use it. He gave me a lesson. And he's like, practice for a few weeks, and then you can come back and give me a tattoo.
Isn't there like a fruit or a vegetable you're supposed to You're supposed to.
There's
practice
like
on?
fake skins.
There's fake.
Shout out to fake skin.
Shout out to fake skins, man.
We're in LA. Shout out to fake skin. Come on. What is this? The Cheers pilot? Come on.
We're going in and out.
Shout
That's
out
a funny
Cheers.
joke. The Cheers pilot
So
thing is
random.
legit funny. But if the crowd was like my parents' age,
I have
people.
actually have a very funny story of something that happened related to Cheers.
Oh.
Oddly enough.
do we have time for that?
We have plenty of time for that.
Okay, cool.
You know Norm from Cheers, the bigger guy?
Yes.
Obviously. So I used to work at this hotel in Chicago called the Chicago Athletic Association.
Okay.
Right? This was like years ago. And EDM, so Lollapalooza was happening. And so basically all of these artists were staying at the hotel at the same time.
Okay.
We also had a really cool gymnasium. It's like a really dope hotel, actually. But I think it was like EDM Sound System or someone was doing an after party in the gymnasium.
Okay.
Right? And so at the same time, the Second City was doing like a big reunion where all of like the classic guys were coming back to Chicago to do this big show at the Second City.
At the same hotel.
At the same hotel during like Lollapalooza.
Oh, that's crazy.
And all these like Keegan-Michael Key was there, like Jason Sudeikis was there. Like it was
Okay.
like a shit ton of people. But Norm from Cheers, who was he's a Second City guy,
Okay.
was staying at the hotel too. All these people were complaining about the amount of noise that was coming from this Lolla after party
In the gymnasium.
in the gymnasium.
Okay.
And then everyone was like, this is just too loud. Can I move? We're moving people like, go here, go here, go here. Norm did not complain at all. And his room was the closest to the gymnasium. Like, if you were picturing the gymnasium, his room is directly next door.
Yeah.
This man was passed out. And the entire time, I just wish you could have heard his room because it probably just sounded like
Just so loud.
just so loud, bass blaring. Didn't complain
Jeez.
once.
And you hear so many stories in Hollywood about people being monsters. You rarely hear a story about a Hollywood celebrity just being a really accommodating hotel guest.
That's what I'm
There you
saying,
go.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that it's bad to complain. You should be
Too
able to
few.
complain if something's too loud.
when
They didn't ask for the
And
noise.
now and when I'm in this industry, it gives me peace of mind to know there's people out there who are just really easygoing hotel guests.
Or he's just tired.
And they say, "Don't meet heroes." I say, "Have you met Norm?"
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was really dope.
What'd you do at the hotel?
I was a bellman.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it was really cool.
That'd be cool. Okay, you want to do another one?
I got another one for you. Yeah. What's the dumbest thing someone has said to you after a show?
Keep going.
That's so mean.
I'm 14 years in.
I think you got something. I hosted a show. So many things. I hosted a show once,
Yeah.
and you perform as the host. So I did my set, hosted the show, and then this girl comes up to me after and she goes, "You did a great job hosting the show." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And she's like, "No, seriously, like you went up there, you did some stuff, you hosted the show, it was great." And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, thank you." And she's like, and sorry if I'm getting ahead of myself. You should really think about trying stand-up comedy. And I was like, okay. And she's like, seriously, I mean, you're so close because you're already up there. You could do it. Like, okay, I'll think about it.
So she inspired you. Yeah.
I will think about it. Thank
You're
you
so nice.
Thank
for
you
that.
so much.
Breaking it down.
That's
No,
why
I
you're
was
here
like,
today.
Well, what am
huh?
I gonna be like? So actually, the host like does time. Like usually, there's like a little pattern, ground rules to go over. But then you like segue into your set because you have to teach the audience what a joke is. And you only
Oh
do
man,
So I was just like, okay, that's a great idea.
that is so.
I will take that under advisement.
That's hysterical.
It was awesome because I was like, you're kind of feeling yourself. You're like, oh, I'm getting compliments, cool. And then she's like, I think you could maybe attempt stand-up comedy. I was like, okay, thank you so much.
One
That's
of the
really
funniest things
encouraging.
in the world. I wonder what she's doing now.
She is dead. It was actually Princess Diana. So there's, and I should have led with that. And this is a more interesting story than I probably gave it credit.
Your references are crazy. They're all from the 80s and 90s.
I just
man.
stayed. I'm stuck in the past.
Cheers.
I'm stuck in the
Princess
past.
Diana.
Yeah. I was just stayed at the Drake Hotel in Chicago,
Oh, sweet.
and there was
It's
a big,
really nice.
there was a big picture of Princess Diana on the wall, and
that's why you're
it's
so
one of
thinking
those
about it
things
too?
that's in my brain. Yeah.
Why were you in Chicago? Just visiting your sister? Or?
Visiting my family went there for Christmas. We met my girlfriend. We met my sister's boyfriend's family. Shout out to the V trees. We love
Shout out
they
to
were
the
great.
V-trees. We love the V-trees.
We're
Love
gonna
the
cut
V-trees.
all of these.
Longtime
Okay.
fans.
Long-time listeners.
What neighborhood does your sister live in Chicago?
Lincoln Park.
That's where I used to live, man.
Actually,
Clark and Fullerton, baby.
that's where she lives.
No way.
I think so.
No, you know she doesn't.
It's close though. I can picture that intersection, and it is close. It is close.
Right by the new Taco Bell Cantina.
Oh wait, okay, no, for real though, she used to live right
by
next
there.
to that.
I was across the street. The Five Guys is there. Taco Bell
She
Cantina.
lived in the big building right on the corner.
Yeah.
Did you live in that building?
Not the one right next door to it. So there's like that tall, big one.
Okay.
It was the one right next door to it.
This
It's
is
like a
good for me and Aaron's relationship. Probably not an interesting lesson. Your sister lives in that building that I lived close to?
That's crazy.
Chicago
Crazy.
listeners, there is a cantina down there if you need to go.
Okay, we'll stay on track. So.
Yeah. No, you're good. Is there a common thread between all of your exes?
No.
You got a lot of exes out there, Aaron?
Not really.
Name names. Name all of them, and then we'll talk about them.
I'm not going to name names.
Name each one of them individually, and then we'll talk about why the relationship ended and what they have in common.
I don't know about all that.
And what it says about you.
Woo! I have nothing. I don't hold anything against any of my exes. They're all really great people.
Okay.
I don't think there's a common thread though. What was
No?
the second part of that question?
That was it. Is there
Oh.
a common thread with all your exes?
You wanted there to be a second part of that question,
no,
so, you could get out of the first part of that question.
I don't think there. I don't think there's a common thread.
Don't let me pry, but let's give me a number of how many serious girlfriends, serious relationships.
I've had 2 serious girlfriends, and I'm currently in the middle of my 3rd serious relationship.
Currently in the middle, as if it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
at the
As it
beginning.
suggests
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end.
No, sorry. I know.
I'm like halfway through my 3rd girlfriend,
no,
probably.
no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I actually love you a lot. If you're watching this.
Blur us both out. Wait, okay. 2 serious, 3rd,
Yeah.
okay. And no, you don't see any similarities between the 3,
They're all smart.
okay,
They're all very smart.
okay.
They're all very kind. They're all very nice. I don't know. I don't have a type. That's my whole thing.
Okay. How did the first 2 end?
First one ended because of distance.
Okay.
Second one ended, I think I would chalk it up to the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
I would chalk it up to the pandemic. Funny enough, I just had a conversation with her not even like a week ago. And we talked for like an hour. All good things. Like, I spent so
Talking
much...
to your exes?
No, I thought it was a very healthy thing. In a sense where like we took a year, we didn't talk to each other.
Okay.
Enough of a break. And then she checked in because of the fires.
Very
And
nice.
then we just ended up just kind of talking for a while. And then like, it wasn't anything like yearning or like that. It was just being like, oh yeah, you're still like my dog. Like we spent so much
there was
time
no
together.
yearning. To my current girlfriend, there was 0 yearning. 0.
No, my current.
Can I get a? That's what I'm saying. You're
I
telling your
didn't
current
use-
girlfriend that there was 0 yearning for your past
for
girlfriend.
my past
Can we get a
girlfriend.
graphic that's like a scale,
Yeah, yeah.
like a percentage
was
of
nothing.
yearning?
Percentage of urine.
and,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
No.
0.
No, she's my dog because we were just friends. Like we're still really good friends.
That
But
sounds really
but my
healthy.
Current girlfriend is dope.
Okay.
She's
How'd
really
you guys meet?
sick. We
Tons of urine.
we met
So much urine.
the urine levels are high as hell. We met through a friend. And
That's
then
the best way to meet someone,
It's the best.
don't you think?
And no, it's the best.
So did you get set up blind date style?
Kind of in some ways too. That whole situation is a story that I probably shouldn't tell on here. It's not because it's bad. It's just a lot. But basically, what ended up happening is she was like, I kind of have a crush on him, and I was like, I kind of have a crush on her.
Okay.
And then
An adult crush is fun.
It's
Having a crush
very,
on
very
an adult,
fun.
very fun.
very fun. And then her best friend and roommate was like, do you like her? And I was like, yeah, I do like her. And then they kind of matched us up that way, but we kind of still did it on our own, and
Okay.
then went on a date and so on and so forth.
What'd you do for your first date?
I took her to Dogtown.
Okay, nice.
Different from Pound Town. It was a date.
Shout out to both.
Shout out to Downtown.
Shout out to Dogtown.
No, I took her downtown. There's so many cool like breweries over there and small restaurants.
That's
so we
cool.
went to a nice like beer thing and walked around there for a little while, and it was fun. It was
Okay,
cool.
that's
She had
good.
work at 7 a.m. the next morning and didn't tell me until we got there at like 10.
Dang.
And then
Dang.
chill for a while.
Tough,
but she
yeah.
went
That's
to work.
crazy.
She's
Clip
dope.
that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was crazy.
She's-
She sounds crazy.
She's not. She's actually sick.
I'm kidding. She sounds great.
If you guys had to eat 10 pounds of food in one sitting, what would you eat?
You guys didn't ask me about my exes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Was there a common thread about your exes? Yeah.
No, not really. Okay.
No, what
let's
is
hear
it?
it.
No, I
Yeah.
was joking.
Well, how many exes have you had? And what are their names?
I was joking. Now it seems like I wanted to say something. I had nothing to say.
No, but here's the thing.
Yeah, this
I'm
better be
actually
good.
legitimately so curious.
We'll circle back. I'll work it back.
no,
out.
I would no. We can't
Let's
Oh,
hear
circle
it.
back.
I feel like I'm forcing it. I'll work it back organically.
It's not forcing.
I
it.
eat 10 pounds of. We broke up because of distance.
How many
Yeah,
You know what I
girlfriends
mean?
have you
It'd be
had?
like natural.
How many girlfriends have you had?
I would say serious relationships. 3 or 4.
Okay. And then are you currently dating someone right
No.
now?
Currently
So
single.
when did the last one end?
Like 2 years ago.
So it's been 2 years and you've been single.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you lived here in LA?
5 years, 6 years.
So you guys met here.
Yes.
And then so 2 of the girlfriends were here in Los Angeles.
Correct.
And then the other ones were in Indiana,
1 in college,
one in college.
and then 1 post grad when I moved to LA.
Okay.
I lived in Boston, moved to
Oh, sweet.
LA,
Nice.
and then another girl here, and then the girl 2 years ago.
Common thread?
Common thread seems to be that we're breaking up.
that
mean,
they
like-
are exes.
I mean,
yeah.
like
Was that funny or
personality.
sad?
I'm the common
It's
thread.
good
Yeah.
for the best, always for the best.
I mean, like, is it like a blonde situation? Is it like a brunette situation? Is it like I don't know.
No, I'd say it's pretty aesthetically mixed. Is that a polite thing to say about women?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
That-
I'm just saying,
I
like,
don't
is there
know
a
about
thread?
polite, but-
Is there a thread in personality?
Personality,
Is there a thread
I
in
think like outgoing, fun people. Outgoing, fun,
okay.
kind.
Nice.
Looking for kindness usually.
Do you tend to find like are they all from like a certain region in the United States or elsewhere too?
Geographically, no common thread.
Geographically, no comment.
No, no.
So they're kind of just all over the place.
They're all over the place. They're all from Cape Town, South Africa. Wait a second.
No geographic thread.
I've never put that together.
That was a very, very slick way to find out if he dates black women. by the way.
I picked the whitest place in Africa.
That was very, very. I was like, geographically, like where?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say there's a common thread really amongst any of them, but they're all great.
Yeah.
I would say I'm not on. I would say I have a appreciation for all of them, all the
I feel the
relationships
same
that leads
exact
me
way.
to where you are.
I'd never want to get to the place where it's like, fuck my ass, like, da, 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 da.
I think when people
don't-
do that, I'm always like, you're probably the crazy one. Anyone who's like,
Yeah.
fuck my ex, they're the worst. I'm
shouldn't
like,
be that
you,
way.
you probably broke up because of you,
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be that way.
You feel good about your exes?
I only have one, and yeah, she's great.
Let's get her on the pod.
Yeah. We'll have
What's
her.
her name?
I'll have her on. Yeah.
Can you put her phone number right here?
So, what would you eat 10 pounds of food of? She's like,
That's
I
so
don't know.
funny.
What I thought we were here to talk about us.
Yeah.
You guys want to do the food one, or is that a skip?
We'll go rapid fire on that one.
Sure. Yeah.
What's the food
10
one?
pounds of food, grapes. Year.
Wait, what?
I would eat grapes.
Wait, what's the question?
If you had to eat 10 pounds of food in
Oh.
one sitting, what would it be? Grapes.
Oh wait, I did that one time. Wait, you go
Ate
first
10
and then I'll
pounds
tell
of
you my
grapes?
story. No, no. But ate 12 pounds of, well, here, I'll tell you in a second. You do your food first and I'll tell you.
Hamburger meat.
Hamburger meat.
I love
Just like
hamburger.
the
Ground
raw
beef.
beef.
You gotta be seasoned. But yeah.
Because you like it or because you could do it
I
efficiently?
just like burgers.
Okay.
I would just.
I
do
like
that.
burgers.
I like burgers. What's your?
Okay,
story?
I played football in college.
Let's go.
And I was always underweight. So underweight.
What was your position?
Receiver.
Let's get it, dog.
I was probably, they wanted me to be like I think 190 or 200, and I was always 5 to 12 pounds underneath that.
Oh man.
So you'd go in the morning before you would lift, and there was one strength coach just in charge of everyone's weights. So you had to come in.
Just a one guy that's literally just being like, let's get
Literally. So he was like an assistant strength coach, and they're like, D-Mac, shout out to D-Mac. D-Mac, you are in charge of everyone's weights.
Huh.
You have to make sure everyone, gets their weight right.
That's crazy.
Or you get put on a list, and it gets sent to the head coach, and he'd yell at you in front of everyone.
That's wild.
And he'd humiliate you in front of everyone if you missed your weight. He would always yell, "What's the first word in Big Ten?" Big. To call you a little weak boy.
Yeah.
This sounds like the opposite of a beauty pageant.
Yeah, it is.
That's
literally.
insane.
Literally, but with probably the same amount of yelling. So
This should not be the case, man. That's kind of traumatic a little bit.
yeah, it was crazy. But so you'd go in, and everyone in the lift group would weigh in.
Jeez.
And I was always so underweight. So you're wearing your workout gear. I'm like, I think I had to be 190. I'm 178. I'm 12 pounds under.
Oh man.
So if you miss your weight, he'd give you the chance to work out, then go to lunch, and then come back and weigh in again.
Oh wow.
So you have 3 hours plus including a workout to gain weight somehow.
Man.
So I weigh in. He's like, okay, Danny, I'll see you after lunch. You're gonna come back. And so I work out, go to lunch, and I'm like, I have to gain 12, and I'm a walk-on, so it's not like I'm like the man or anything.
Like they were like, we recruited him in junior year and like all this day.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna get cut from this team if I don't make this weight.
Yeah.
So I'm in the lunchroom, and I'm like, I have to gain 12 pounds. Where do you start? So it's like a buffet style like training table. So there's like waffles and like potatoes and all that. And I'm like, I guess I'll start there. So I'm putting like peanut butter on waffles. I'm eating potatoes. I'm like folding them. I have a gluten allergy, but I'm like, this is too important. I gotta make this weight. It'll probably come right out of me. But I'm like,
bro, that's crazy.
I'm like eating like Kobayashi style like waffles where I'm just folding them and shoving them in my mouth. Can you clip this, please? And then I go into the bathroom because the water is colder on the sink, so you can drink it faster. So I'm drinking water, and I go on the scale, and I've gained by myself. I make sure he's not in the room, and I sneak back in. I've gained 8 pounds, like a hard 8 pounds.
I did not even think that was possible.
And I'm like,
It's definitely not
about
healthy.
to die.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm truly like at my bursting point, so I'm like, I can't do this. So his office is in the weight room, so I have to kind of like, Ocean's 11 my way in, steal a weight from the weight room, like a 5-pound plate from like next to his office. You're like against the wall, and I grab it, and then I go in the locker room and I put on you have compression shorts, right? So I put on my compression shorts. I take 2 of my buddies' compression shorts. So I'm wearing 3 pairs of compression shorts. And then I put the weight into the front of my compression shorts.
So then also it'll hold there.
It'll
also
hold
at
it.
That point.
You need the elastic, right?
Exactly.
Shout out to Adidas. And so it's in there.
Adidas and Taco Bell.
It's in there. I'm wearing like a big sweatsuit. I put it in there.
That's
If you hit me, you break your hand because it's a steel plate like on my stomach. And so I go back and I get on the scale. He's waiting for me. And I get on the scale. I am 190.0. Like exactly my weight. And he looks at me and he goes, which it's in DMAC, it's crazy you even thought it was possible. he's like, okay, Danny, I see you. And he gives me like a fist bump. He's like, well done. And I'm a freshman. I'm terrified. So I'm like, mm-hmm. And I walk away and he goes, you're not hiding 5-pound plates in your clothes, are you? And I freeze. And I couldn't say anything. I just go, oh. And he goes, I'm just kidding. That'd be crazy. Have a good day. And he hits me on the shoulder and I take off.
Bro, that's
and I'm like walking like this so it doesn't
He's
fall.
just watching you on the security footage, put weights in your pants.
Yeah, like there's peanut butter all over my hands and face and the weight and stuff. So I technically gained 12 pounds in an hour.
Yeah.
That is insane.
No
Isn't that
grapes?
crazy? No grapes. Not heavy enough.
Yeah.
Just peanut butter,
If they were waffles, lead-bearing balls, I would have ate them.
Also, waffles and mashed potatoes.
Isn't that crazy?
The spread is so eclectic.
It was waffles and like roasted potato.
Oh,
like
that's what you
breakfast
mean. So it was
potatoes.
like breakfast food.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
that makes sense now.
How much do you weigh? Wait, let me guess how much you weigh.
I don't know. I think
You don't know how much you weigh?
I think I'm like 150.
Okay.
How much do you think I am? What are we gonna say?
Well, now I know.
How much do you think?
I'm going to tell you, and then you guess. I would have guessed like 162, 163.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I was like in the gym like almost every day of last year,
Okay.
and I have just kind of just getting busy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back in there.
Have you ever just gotten shredded?
Yeah, it was last year.
Actually,
It was like shredded.
are you shredded
last
now?
year. It's like those things where the muscles are all still there. It's just not tight.
Okay, not tight.
You
Shout
shredded?
out to loose muscles. I wouldn't say shredded.
I'm gonna say shredded.
I do a lot of yoga now. I have back problems from football, so I do a lot of yoga.
Wow.
So I got a
How-
yoga bod.
You said that you were a walk-on. How long did you end up playing?
I played for 2.5 years.
Good.
Tore my ACL,
Oh,
so I stopped playing.
I'm really sorry. That happened to one of my cousins also.
Really, it happened to Adrian Peterson too.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
All the greats.
All the greats. Me, your cousin, Adrian Peterson. Our head coach coached Adrian Peterson in college,
That's crazy.
and he would often remind us that we were not as good as him, which isn't encouraging. But truly, I mean,
Your
probably
college sounds kind of lit, dude.
probably once every 2 weeks, he would tell the entire team that none of us were as good as Adrian Peterson, which it didn't seem
We know, coach.
didn't
yeah.
seem constructive, helpful, or related to our upcoming opponent. We never played Adrian Peterson when we were in college,
I was
so it
picturing,
didn't
like-
seem relevant at all.
Like the Water Boy, where he's like picturing the people.
yeah. And I'm like
Adrian
picturing Adrian Peterson. So now I hate Adrian Peterson.
Ah!
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's funny. You got any more?
Other than the Six Flags guy and Jesus Christ, what are your wildest stand-up fantasies? Like a venue or a lineup or a show or something like that?
Oh, so many. You want to go like back and forth, one for one?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of mine is Largo. I think is like the coolest venue in LA.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I like Largo a lot.
It's a really sick space.
So cool. Have you performed there?
I haven't performed there, but I went to Fred Armisen's show there,
Okay,
and it is incredible.
so cool.
That was my first time going to
Okay.
the space. And I
What's
was
one
like,
of
this is really sick. Radio City Music Hall.
There we go.
I really want to do it.
Yeah.
Something about it to where it's like both a theater, but also like really.
Why Radio City? What attracts you to that specific venue? The size or the like
I think like the historical.
grandeur of it?
I think it's like I think it's the size also mixed with the fact like the historical, like the people that have played there in the past. Like there's just so much that goes into it. It's one of those like historical venues where I'm like I really want
Yeah.
just to have my name on the list of comedians that have sold that place.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Not even like Madison Square Garden. Like Radio City Music Hall would be sick.
No, I feel that way about. I think theaters are like so beautiful. Like,
yeah, they're amazing.
like doing the Chicago theater, being like headline Chicago theater would be the coolest thing in the world.
one of the wildest.
Right.
I mean, and it's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
That's insane. How about you? So you
Chicago theater.
Chicago theater. I've always wanted to do. I want to rent a small house
Okay. Okay.
and then do like a
Hello, sharks.
and then do like a mini special there for like 15 people.
Like in like a living room.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
About a specific topic that
Yeah.
makes it relevant to the
yeah,
house.
I really, really want to do that.
What would the topic be?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, so
I
just the
have this, like,
idea of a
vision in my
specific
head. I want
topic.
the house to look kind of like the Roseanne house.
You're saying my references are from the 90s?
That'll do all the 90s
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I don't know why.
I think it'd be cool if I
just have
got
had-
Carl from Family Matters to come up to open for me.
I just have had that thought in my head now for the past like few months. I don't know why. I just want to do that.
Okay, that'd be awesome if you
Yeah.
performed a stand-up special in the Roseanne house.
Yeah.
It would be really cool. That'd be really cool, man.
Sick,
I
dude.
love that dream. No, I genuinely love that dream.
How about you?
A really specific goal is the best goal. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another venue or just like a cool thing.
Yeah.
Just opening for cool people would be so fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyone popped to mind for cool people? Like a specific comic?
I think opening for a bunch of people would be fun.
I think you want something. I think you want something specific.
fun.
Shout out to a bunch of people.
Shout out to
Shout out to a bunch of people, man. You're
Wait,
killing
that'd
it.
be a good band name.
They're a bunch of people.
A bunch of people. Who are you going to see tonight? A bunch of people.
Yeah, pretty good.
We are a bunch of people.
We're a bunch
Wait,
of
that's funny.
A bunch of people.
I'm tagging all my own jokes.
A bunch of
I feel
people.
like that's good, right? I think opening for John Mulaney would be cool.
I could eat. Yeah, that's cool.
I think opening for Ali Wong would be cool.
I love Allie, man. Top 3 right now.
Yeah, who's your top 3?
I would say Allie. I always put Dave in there. I really, really like Dave Chappelle a lot. Did you see his SNL monologue?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
It was really funny.
Nice.
And I like John Mulaney too. A lot of people gave him shit for his last
Chicago
special.
boy.
I really liked his last special.
Baby
A lot
J?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people gave him shit about it. I was like, I thought it was really well done.
What did you like about it?
I like the storytelling element of it
Yeah.
too, because I feel like so much happened and it was so public. And then I feel like to take all of that, I feel like we just saw like a a more grown up John Mulaney, but
Yeah.
still getting like the classic element. And I feel like the stories were just so on. I was like so drawn in,
Yeah.
but it wasn't to the point where it was like long and drawn out, and the punchlines weren't there. I feel like the punches hit.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and that ghost bit, the interview shit,
It's great.
that took me out.
It's fun to see an artist progress forward. Whether you
Yeah.
like it or not, it's fun to see someone move forward and expand what they
I
do.
love that, man. I really, now I sound creepy.
I don't think so.
I really
That's
like
our
John
creepy?
Mulaney.
I like this guy's stand-up. I sound like a freak, right? I think this guy's nice and funny. You're probably going to cancel me for this.
What do you guys think everyone should try once?
Loving yourself.
Loving yourself. You're a really positive guy.
I had therapy yesterday. And I was supposed to be on the podcast yesterday, right after therapy, and it got canceled. And I was like, I think it's probably for the best. No, it was bad. I was just like,
Yeah.
just let the dust settle first.
No, I feel it.
Before you start saying things publicly.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and just. Find some
What's
zen.
something that you think people should try once? Stand-up's not a bad one.
I was gonna say don't do.
That's a
stand-up.
little on the nose. Oh, you said don't try stand-up.
You should do stand up. You know what I think everyone should try once? Either an improv class or a clowning class.
Ooh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
better than what I said.
Yeah, I took a clowning class recently, and that really was amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
this guy named Chad Teeks. I don't know. I feel like so much like this is gonna be so inside baseball right now. I feel like I've spent so much of my career people being like, take an improv class, take an improv class. So I really took that seriously, and I took a lot of. It was great. I met amazing people, a great community in Chicago. I did some cool things at the Second City, and then I did this clowning class last summer, and that I was like, this is what I should have been doing the entire time.
What did you feel like you got out of the clowning class that was so helpful?
Literally for what clowning is, it's just correlated to stand up so well. You can take those tools and apply it to stand
Like
up a lot
what
more
would be the
easy.
biggest tool? You're like, I got this from clowning that applies to my life or to
If I
stand-up.
give the audience an offer, right?
Okay.
I'm giving you an offer. And you don't accept it, in real time I have to be okay with that.
Okay.
And I have to keep on giving you, and I have to react to that, right?
Yeah.
But it lets you sit in the bomb a little bit more
Okay.
effectively, but it doesn't hurt your feelings. I don't get insecure. If it bombs, I'm going to keep on trying until you guys laugh at something. And then when you do laugh, I'm going to milk that until that Paul. Just blur that out.
clip that too.
Make that a
Yeah,
gift. Make that a gift. And put me under it.
But
Make
I'm
that a
gonna-
gift and get me under it.
Just a lot of editing for that.
Yeah, you guys are this is gonna be
Some meter.
an
there's-
arduous episode.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought like for what clowning is, it just feels like it fits stand up more. You could take a lot of those tools versus improv is more community based.
Okay.
It's not. I know it's people think it's like thinking on your feet, and it is that, and you do play, but it's just different. It's just different.
That sounds really great. That sounds
Yeah,
really helpful.
I really
The
liked it a
acceptance
lot.
of what's happening and then just moving through it.
Moving through it and just being okay with it, but you still are maintaining your artistry in the middle of all.
Have you seen Rory Scovel perform much?
Back in the day, but nothing recent.
Okay. I feel like so good at that where he's so funny, like live wire funny, where it feels so like happening now.
Yeah.
But I watched him recently and he's funny immediately. And then he'll just beat the brakes off a bit where he'll just keep doing it, find a new angle on it, find a new angle on it, and it'll crush. And then he'll just do something that doesn't work at all. And people, still like him. It's not like they're like, now we hate you. They're like, that just wasn't it for us.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he doesn't panic. And he's just like, I'm going to do that like 7 more times.
No, and that's what I'm
And then
saying.
he
And that's what it is
just-
until they laugh.
Well, he'll like
It's the
do
best.
it. Kind of like you're just watching someone try to find it.
Yeah.
And then he'll all of a sudden, and it's like not working, but they're not turning on him.
Yeah.
And then he'll just like find a new angle on it, and then it's right back up to like
That's
crushing.
dope, man. But then that becomes the bit. Like that's
It's all part of the show.
it's all part of the show now, but then also like that section, taking the joke out of it, even for a second, him trying it over and over and over again ends up becoming the bit. It's
Yeah,
genius on like
exactly.
almost now, and also he has a new angle on it. And then if he tries that once now, if it works, that's the new joke. It's just smart.
It's smart, and then the ups and downs.
cool.
The show's better for having the ups and downs and
Yeah.
watching the process of him
Yeah.
do that.
This is what gets me going.
Yeah,
I love this.
yeah.
Like
I think that's really fun. I
talk
think
about that all day.
I think that even works for like your life in general, right? Of like it's the fun part is figuring it out, and I think for a while I was fixated too much on like the being there's of the highs of like I gotta stay here.
Yeah.
Like I gotta keep this, and it's
Yeah.
like no, it's okay to let it
It ebbs and flows.
ebbs and flows, and
then
you
it all
can
ends
be
up connecting at one point in time when you're like,
Exactly.
oh, that's why I'm happy this didn't happen actually.
Right.
Because now I have this, and that would have actually messed up that.
Do you have an example of that, of something that didn't happen that you were like, this sucks that this didn't happen, and then it ended up being something really great?
I actually do have something.
Okay.
My best friend right now. My best friend right now.
Do you wanna
I
plug-
keep
do you
saying
wanna plug
all
him?
these different.
Yeah, you're really putting a lot of time
No.
constraints on your relationship.
Right now. No.
For now.
This guy's been my best friend since college. His name was Michael. And Michael Ray, shut out. One of the most talented dudes I've ever met in my entire life. To give you an idea, this
Talented with what?
man, he's a producer, editor, filmmaker. He's like a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make this long story very short. Moved together in college, instantly became best friends. We both are like wanderers though, right? In a sense, we're like free spirits, but also just trying to kind of figure it out. And he went to Spain for a little while. I dropped out of college for a little while. We both decided, well, let's go back to college. And then we decided to live together, right?
Okay.
Became best friends. He's been trying to find his way and trying to like discover like what it is exactly that he wants to do. You know what I mean? But throughout this entire journey, the man has stacked up like 3 Emmys, kind of like on accident. 4 Emmys, actually. 3 daytime and 1 primetime.
That's
Emmy,
awesome.
right? The man is 30 years old, right? So it was like the end of the pandemic, and then he was like, hey man, like I want to I'm trying to figure out what the next move is. I've been in Chicago back, but I don't know if this is it, and like I'm trying to like find it, right? And I was like, well, come to LA, let's make some videos, right? He's like, really? I was like, come to LA, let's make some videos and like see what happens. Moves to LA, we get like an Airbnb, we start making videos, no traction.
Okay.
Like nothing at all. And after a while, we were like, this is kind of heartbreaking. Like I don't like this at all, right? Let's just be best friends. And then we spent the next year goofing around. I was kind of hurt a little bit because I was like, I could have.
It didn't feel good to be working together, or
No,
there was
it just
nothing
wasn't.
happening?
Nothing was happening, and like we both started to get busy with work, and I was still on my Netflix show at the time. Like there was like a lot that was happening all
Okay.
at the same time, and so we just kind of just slowly just phased out. But when I was thinking about it, I was kind of like, dang, that could have been something because we're both, I think, pretty talented. Cut to now a year later, right? And I'm on this YouTube show with Kevin. Michael is now more solidified in being in Los Angeles, not so much trying to like move around and do like X, Y, and Z. And I was like, should we just do this again? And I was like, yeah, let's do it again. But we're solidified now. We have a really cool apartment. We have a bigger community of actors, a bigger community of filmmakers. We have all like a bigger network that we didn't have a year from now.
Right.
And now literally we put out the first video, we got like 150,000 views on YouTube.
Amazing.
And then this last time, I think over the past like 48 hours, we got like 7 million plays on TikTok, if not like more than that. But if it would have happened earlier, it wouldn't have been, we wouldn't have had the network that we have right now of like Kevin and like Herm and like Austin, our DP. Like we just wouldn't have
And
known
your own
anyone.
abilities grew over the last year, and you guys were probably more prepared.
Stronger
to take
and
it
just
on,
better now. And like it's just great. The timing just
awesome.
worked out. It's
You want to plug the video?
yeah, it is Aaron Branch World on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't saying that to plug my shit. But I was saying though it just takes time sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel really good about what we're doing, and it's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it's sick.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
a perfect example of that, of trusting the timing
Yeah.
instead of it being your own.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end with this one. What changes have improved your life so much that you wish you did them sooner?
What changes? What's the
Yeah,
question?
what changes you made, or things you started doing that improved your life so much you're like, I wish I did that sooner?
Honestly, what we were just talking about,
Yeah.
that is, I think I've tried to always be like that. My parents are pretty positive people, and they
Yeah.
try and get us to be positive.
That's
so
awesome.
it kind of a happens for a reason sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it gets harder to trust the older you get,
Yeah.
and the more like it's easy to maybe do that in like high school or whatever when your life isn't as much your own
Yeah.
because there's more safety mechanisms in place.
Absolutely.
But when you're out on your own in a different city than where you're from, and you're building a career and all doing this, it can be like, I feel like you can hold on tighter.
yeah.
So that, I think that of just being like, you know what, like I'm gonna do my part and I'll let the rest take care of itself, makes me so happy, so light. So those things do come back.
That's awesome.
You know, so I think what we were just talking about is maybe that. And I think that things, the way other people act doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah,
Is a good one.
it's a really good point. Too.
You know, people's So I think that's
That's
one
a
that's
really
helped me.
yeah.
I don't really take like anything personally.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't, because you know people who act the way they act because their own issues, and I think I know a lot of people who obsess over like, well, why is that person doing that to me, or why is that person doing that in general? And it's like, who knows?
My man is healed, man.
Who knows?
That's what I'm talking
Dude,
about,
we're early on in comedy. I was gonna do the show out of town, and my buddy put me in touch with this other guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, this dude said he'd help you put together a show or whatever. Like, hit him up. So I hit him up. Don't hear anything back. And I'm like, oh man, maybe he doesn't want to work with me, or maybe he saw my stuff and doesn't like it, or just those like insecure thoughts.
Yeah.
Easter Ray's insecure.
Taco Bell, Easter eggs insecure. Was the other one.
yeah. Shout out Kiki Palmer said it says that's not Easter. And I was like, well, maybe it has something to do with me, blah blah. And I was like, okay, I'll shoot him one more message, just follow up. Maybe he didn't see it, whatever. So I'm like, hey man, just checking back in. If you want to do this, all good, no worries. And he hits me back, and he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I was in jail the night you texted me. He's like, I just got out of jail. Would love to do the show.
Jesus.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to do the show now. So like, I was like, I will never take anything personally ever again.
That's such a good point, man.
Of just like, truly, so if something ever happens, I'm like, maybe they're in jail.
That's such a good point.
Not that I'm hoping for it.
That's such a good point, dude.
But stuff like that, I think, helps me.
And also, you realize that, but I feel like also without the experience, how could you get there?
Sure. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And I think
you
that's
got to go through it to understand it.
Yeah, you have to go through to understand it, and that's why I'm like, I have no regrets. The only regret, I have no regrets.
Okay.
I really don't. The only thing that I wish I would have done is been more open. I do have one regret. Dan Harmon, when I was 17 years old, asked me to dinner. And it was like at the height of Community.
Did you say no?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't know who he was. And I got a creepy vibe.
No. Well,
and then I realized that we have a lot more in common than I think that I would have actually. I really, really regret that.
Community is my all-time favorite show.
I had never seen Community.
Oh my god.
I was barely a Donald Glover fan yet, and then now I'm probably Donald Glover's biggest fan. Like a year later, and that
is so funny.
Really, it was in Kansas City. It was
weird.
It was in Kansas City. He was doing his podcast recording of Harmontown, where he plays D&D.
Yeah.
And he is so awesome, bro. He spent like maybe an hour talking to each individual fan for a lengthy amount of time and made them all feel like good. And I waited in line too, because I was like, at the time I played D&D before, so I was like, let me go to this podcast thing. And the club owner at the time, it was my home club, was like, you should go to this thing. So I went, and then I waited in line, and then I talked to him, and he was just so nice and so kind. But I think it was like he was bigger and he had like a gruffy beard, and he was like, we're gonna go get dinner.
Oh, so he asked you after you met him at the podcast?
Yeah, after I talked to him, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna stand up. I wanted to watch your thing, and then he was just, we talked, we laughed like a lot, and then he was like, well, we're gonna go get dinner. You want to come? And I just had my mom's voice popped in my head, like, don't
go anywhere with strangers.
Yeah, and like grown men. And so I was like, no, but I'll tweet you.
No.
I said that to Dan Harmon when I was like 17 years old.
No, you can follow me on Twitter, though.
I said, I'll tweet you. I tweeted him. He never responded. And then I remember I was like, oh. It's for the best, though. I mean, everything happens for a reason, though. But I now am more willing to take risks in those types of situations. Because, I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover. And it's just, you know what I mean? And it's not even about what it's going to get you. I'm really mean about the experience of it all, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's probably my only regret.
That feels like the best thing you can do is say yes for the experience of it, not for the...
Not for like what I might get. But
anytime I've ever been like, tried to be, if I do this, maybe I can get this kind of thing.
Exactly.
It doesn't happen, and I hate the way I feel and the way you interact with people. But I feel like when you're say yes to the experience of just, this seems cool.
Like, if I had a Dan Harmon story, that would have been sick.
That'd be awesome.
Well, I do have
We
one.
kind of do, yeah.
Well, you do, and it's honestly, it's better. I feel like that it makes for a better story than like
It's
I went to
hilarious.
dinner and he ordered the braised lamb.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It was fine.
Down the line, I hope to meet him and be like, hey, man.
Let's get him on the pod.
That would be so sick. I love
Next
it.
episode.
Yeah, huge
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Do you guys want to plug anything or Instagrams or dates coming up? Where can people find you?
Yeah, find me on my socials. Instagram, Facebook.
What's your
at
Instagram?
Aaron Branch World. And then on TikTok, I'm Branch Boy Comedy. YouTube at Aaron Branch World as well. But you?
Bang bang. I'm on socials. I'm on socials as well. I'm on socials.
Truth
as well.
Social.
I'm on Truth. Wait, is that Trump social? Okay, nice. Not on that one yet. If they do reels, maybe. I'm on social media. It's Danny Dunn is my boyfriend. You can follow me on that.
Let's go.
And
I'm gonna follow you. Fuck it.
You can follow. As if you're so reluctant. I guess.
Yeah, why not?